is there a common theme across the businesses that is really driving the excitement in the tech sector at the moment? Is there some sort of like core technology which is creating the growth that you all experiences in your businesses, or the opportunities that you see? Is it the smartphones? Is that really transformed business? Is Apple responsible for this huge drive that is coming through for mobile, social, local?
I would say that there's not one specific thing. It's more that technology has become more and more accessible, and there's more and more qualified, good people out there building things, whether they be for smartphones or whether they be automated management services within companies. I think it's more that technology is so accessible, affordable, as is the talent to create now, that actually the limit is your imagination, as opposed to maybe 5 to 10 years ago, the limit being how much money you had in your back pocket and what you're willing to risk. As Mark said, there's not as much risk associated with spend anymore, especially when used for things like efficiency. And now that businesses are raising money off the back of profit as opposed to daydreams in IT, a lot of it does come back to what is the return on investment, and where that is accessible is across the board, from mobile to systems technologies to whatever. So
how does that influence the sort of businesses that you look at, Mark, in terms of their what they're doing, the sort of the people requirements, there's the different talent skills that are required, given this this whole kind of flux of, whether it's a glut of data or flux of channels and social technologies. And
when I were a boy, I were a software engineer. I used to dream about being a software engineer. Now I are one. We're never very good at English. And we were taught to write software in this to develop software in this waterfall model, where you kind of spent years capturing requirements from the customer and then going through it in a fine-tooth comb, detailing them at the nth degree, and then going through detailed design, and then through a massive implementation process, and then unit testing, integration testing, and then acceptance testing. The flipping process took such a long time that if the guy that wanted the thing, that commissioned the project in the first place, was still alive, he'd probably forgotten why he'd asked for it. And if he had remembered why he'd asked for it, the world had changed so much that it was no longer relevant. So development cycles were so long and so kind of painful. Whereas now you see it's all about sprints and agility and really fast kind of revision cycles, where teams are massively responsive to what's going on around them, and kind of testings and A/B testing. Well, we'll try this on this, and we'll try this on that, and see what the difference is. And so being very, very agile, and they can do that in a lot of instances because of the sort of the internet delivery and the cloud delivery. Again, when I was a boy, we started a company, and we delivered software to our customers' premises, and very quickly we had a couple of hundred customers, and it came to the time to give them an upgrade. Oh, blimey, they were all over the world, these guys, and to upgrade 200 live systems, you've got to put people on airplanes and go through quite a lot of work, and it's a very, very expensive business. You can with cloud delivery, you can change all that. You can go through these highly iterative release cycles. So I think that has changed quite significantly, and the skills and the techniques that have emerged to support those processes. I think the other thing that we see is a theme that you touched on earlier is analytics. God, the businesses that we invest in, there is so much data around, and the good guys are just all over it like a cheap suit. They know what their cost to acquire is, they know what their cost to serve is, they know what their customer lifetime value is, they know what their churn rate is, they know what the break-even point is for their customers. They know that if they use this, SEO campaigns, they know what their CPA is. If they use SEM, they know what their CPA is. They're just bashing out 3-letter acronyms at a rate of knots, and the scary thing is you find yourself understanding exactly what they're talking about. So I think that the world has really, really changed to be totally data driven. And I think that has really come about because you are now so connected with your customer, and your customer's engagement with your product and service in a way that you just weren't kind of 10, 15 years ago. So I think that has changed, and so you see the emergence of the subscription business, where your customer, your average sale price is actually very, very low. It used to be that you were hunting for the large enterprise software transactions that were going to retire your commission plan and retire the company's number. And now we're seeing more and more subscription-oriented businesses where, the resurgence of the telesales model. And some of these guys are the sales cycle is so scientific. When do I use outreach campaigns? When do I use telemarketeers? When do I use qualification tools? There's automatic lead nurturing software that you can get. There's customer relationship management software. There's telesales, there's field sales. The whole kind of customer acquisition process is so sophisticated now. And of course the web and social media are massive components of those channels. So the world has changed quite significantly, to the extent that we've got businesses that essentially don't have salespeople. Their customer acquisition strategy is all about driving traffic to their website, getting people to convert to a trial, getting those trialists to convert to pay. And we've got one business that it's part of the Get India online program that Google is sponsoring. They provide kind of websites for small, medium businesses. So the vision is creating a website as easy as creating PowerPoint. These guys are signing up 40,000 businesses a month. 40,000 businesses a month. And it's all completely automated, no sales force. So I think that's one of the great opportunities that a truly kind of connected world gives you.
Well, it's certainly speeded up, isn't it? And what we find out in the markets, everyone talks about capital efficiency. So it seems as though the whole kind of cost of investing in early companies has kind of come down quite radically. And I suppose the flip side to that is heavily capital intensive deals are exceptionally hard to fund, like the semiconductor plays these days have pretty much gone out of the market.
That's the payoff, of course, is that investors are looking at capital efficiency as one of the key criteria when they're looking at investments, and sadly the losers in there are biotech, semiconductor. There's a classic case recently. It was the Bristol company, Acera.
Yeah.
I mean, it was going to challenge Qualcomm, and it burned through a heck of a lot of money, and just about got away with it by the skin of its teeth. Yeah. That said, we've got a fantastic semiconductor case study out of the UK in the shape of ARM, which is starting to give Intel a run for its money. So we can all feel proud of that one, can't we?